Hey, I want to talk today about how your words, the words that you choose to use on a day to day basis or in certain situations, are actually creating your reality because what they're really doing is eliciting a feeling in you. And you associate certain words with certain feelings. It's just programmed in your brain. Your subconscious already knows, like, oh, this person feels happy. That's this. Or this person is using the word like tense. That's what this feels like in the body. And so your brain is always cataloging all of those things. And so if you have a lot of words that you use consistently, there's already a feeling associated with those words that's already stored in you. So you can use this to your advantage to change your feeling state. You can use it to your advantage to start to change your reality as well, right? So we know that words are going to elicit a response in us. I mean, we all read books, and writers are very good at making us feel certain things, right? They can make us feel tense, they can make us feel happy, they can make us feel very sad or melancholy. If you go see motivational speakers, they're also very good at using words that are going to generate that excitement in us, that are going to make us feel more motivated or, more alert to the things they're saying. And so motivational speakers are also very, very good at this. But we're doing the same thing to ourselves all of the time by how we choose to speak. As a matter of fact, in Hebrew, the word abracadabra, which we all know, but it's a Hebrew word. It's actually found in lots of different, things. But in Hebrew, it means that I create as I speak. And that is true. You are creating as you speak. There's also a really great book written by Florence Scovel Shinn that was written in 1928, I believe it was. And she wrote a book called Your Word is Your Wand. And it is it's along the lines of an affirmation book, but I'm not really talking about affirmations, although affirmations can be a tool that you can use to help, soften your mindset on things and create possibly new realities for yourself. But I'm talking more about just how we speak on a day-to-day basis about things and how that is already eliciting an emotional response in us, because we have our own Rolodex, so to speak, in our brain. Our brain automatically hears a word and it's automatically going to associate it with a feeling, or it may associate it with a past feeling when we've used that word. It may associate it with something current, but our words definitely have an emotional reaction already implanted in us, so to speak. The words that you're going to use can matter. And we see this, right? Like, we've all seen this. We've all witnessed this right in front of our eyes, right? Somebody is telling us a story and they're really upset about something, like the car that cut them off this morning on the way to work or whatever it is. And as they're telling the story, you could see the tension and the stress start to rise in their body, and you see them starting to get reactive, and they're having the physical reactions already, because chemically that's what's already happening in the body. So they're already present in that circumstance, even though the circumstance has already passed. But you can see how the words they're using are creating that same level of emotion in them. The subconscious doesn't understand that that's not going on anymore. And so the subconscious just takes you right back to the feelings you had when it happened, right? And so you watch them get all worked up, and they've got veins bulging in their neck, and they're really, really upset about something that was, 8 hours ago. So that's how words are always kind of eliciting emotional and physical responses in us. And so having this knowledge can help you learn softer words, right? Like if you're always getting upset when you talk about your job, there are certain words I guarantee that you are using that you are associating with your job. Whether it sucks or this person's always pissing me off or whatever it is. And so you can start to soften those words a little bit and calm down that chemical reaction that you're already creating in the body, and that can help kind of shift your mindset on things as well, right? So let's say you all of a sudden start saying, well, work's really great. Today was just awesome. I had a great day. As opposed to work sucked and this happened again and this always happens and da 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 da. And you're now, getting yourself up to that emotional level again. You want to try to calm that down. So an exercise that I use with my clients often is a journaling exercise, and I'm going to share that with you today. I use journals a lot in a lot of different ways. I think it's a really great tool to get in touch with emotion and see how you are emotionally reactive, because when you can see where your emotional reactions are, you can then, like I said, start working on exercises that are going to soften them. So let's say somebody did get cut off on the way to work, or they had an altercation, they have a very stressful coworker and they're always going round and round with them, and it just continues to happen. I will have them write out the story in the journal, but I'll have them write it out just as they're telling it to me. I'll have them write it out with all of the emotional content, all of the emotional words that they just used. I'll have them get themselves right into that state where they're so agitated. And, this is a great tool. This is a great tool because now you're sitting in your living room with that same level of agitation, and you could see how you're actually bringing that stress and agitation into your world. And so when you can observe that effect that you're having on yourself, you can now change that effect. So then I will have them write out the story a second time. Only this time, I'll have them write it out with no emotional content whatsoever, right? I'll just have them write out the facts. I said, she said, then this happened, and then I continued on like this, and remove all the emotional words, right? So there's no emotional content at all. You're just reading the facts. And now when you're just reading the facts and there's no emotional implementation happening, you can look at things just as they are. And now because you've observed your emotional input, you've seen how it's changed the situation. Now you can look at the situation again without any emotional input and see if the emotional input was overreacting or if it could be softened anywhere. And then if you want to go a step further, you can write out the story now a third time. And in that third time, one of the things that you can now do is put in the emotional input that you would have rather have had. So you're essentially revising the situation and you're selecting different words. And when you do this with situations that are very tense for you, or with things that are, having you be reactive, you can start to now pick words that are going to make it less reactive for you. You can also start to observe whether or not the reaction is really warranted in the situation or not. And this will give you more control over how you're reacting to circumstances outside of you. And so this will kind of help you calm your own nervous system because you've already practiced a different reaction. And so you can use this in life to be able to go into situations with a little bit of a calmer mind. And so think about the ways that you can soften your words in situations, right? Like if everybody is always so fucking annoying, then why don't we change it to, wow, everybody's always so fantastic, and start to see how that shifts your reaction to what's happening around you and to what's going on externally from you towards people and towards situations and circumstances that we don't really have full control over. We really only have control over ourselves. So soften your words, control your own reactions, and see what happens. Try that journal exercise and let me know if it worked for you. Thanks.